There is a legendary moment in the Valmiki Ramayana where a prince named Bharata approaches the empty throne of Ayodhya and gently places a pair of wooden hermit sandals upon the royal cushion. He possessed vast political and military power in this exact moment. He had the authority to take the crown for himself or force his brother Rama to return from the forest. Instead, he actively refused to wield any of it. He returned to the capital and ruled an entire empire for 14 years, yet he never sat on the throne. He never used the title of king. He operated entirely as a caretaker for his absent brother. Decisions of this magnitude do not happen by accident. What specific psychological architecture makes a person capable of that level of renunciation? To understand his choice in the forest of Chitrakoot, we have to look past the climax of the story. We need to dissect his foundational years growing up in the golden palace of Ayodhya. King Dasharatha ruled in Ayodhya at the height of its prosperity. The granaries were full, the streets were pristine, and the empire was wealthy. But the king had no heir, a situation that threatened the stability of the entire cosmic and political order. To secure the lineage, Dasharatha performed the Putra Kameshti Yajna, a specific sacred fire ritual. It produced a divine vessel of sweet rice, which he divided among his 3 queens. From those portions, 4 distinct princes were born. This diagram outlines the brothers' psychological profiles. Rama possessed effortless compassion. Lakshmana's existence centered on devotion to Rama. But look at Bharata. His ultimate loyalty wasn't to a person, it was anchored to Dharma, the rigid principle of duty. The princes received rigorous training from the great sage Vasishtha. For Bharata, this education did not invent his moral compass. It gave his natural instincts a sophisticated vocabulary and a mature philosophical framework. Because his mind was structured this way, the idea of accepting a throne that he did not rightfully earn was a violation of his core programming. By the time he reached adulthood, Bharata's character was structured to prioritize universal duty over personal ambition, even when that ambition was presented as a gift. This shared commitment to duty created a profound bond between Rama and Bharata. They shared a mutual, unspoken recognition of each other's deep dharmic alignment. The text proves the authenticity of this bond early on. When King Dasharatha formally announced Rama as the crown prince, Bharata reacted with complete, uncalculated joy. There was zero political jealousy. This makes the actions of his mother, Queen Kaikeyi, all the more devastating. Before the conspiracy, she was respected as a devoted wife who had saved the king in battle and as a protective mother. Kaikeyi's protective love for her son became the engine of his misery. To ensure he became king, she dismantled the very family he loved, successfully demanding Rama's exile. This placed a heavy psychological burden on Bharata. He was forced to reckon with catastrophic treason committed entirely in his name, for his benefit, without his consent. He was caught in an impossible moral position. He loved his mother, yet he experienced absolute revulsion at the unrighteous gift she had secured for him. This map highlights the geographical reality of the conspiracy. While the betrayal was unfolding inside the palace walls, Bharata was visiting his maternal family in the distant kingdom of Kaikeyi. He was completely unaware of the plot. He returned to absolute devastation. His father was dead from grief. His brother, the rightful heir, was banished. His mother was a disgraced conspirator, and the kingdom was fractured. Amidst this wreckage, he was presented with absolute power over one of the ancient world's greatest empires. It was handed to him cleanly. He had zero personal complicity in how it was acquired. A standard political operator would accept the crown and rationalize the circumstances. Bharata could not. For him, compromising on what he knew to be right was a psychological impossibility. Because of his lifelong devotion to Dharma over desire, rejecting the throne was not a difficult emotional struggle. It was a strictly logical necessity. Knowing this, we can return to those wooden sandals. When Bharata arrived at Chitrakoot, his refusal of the throne was the only possible outcome for a prince forged by duty.